You know, here at Adventures in Terraforming, there's a deeper wave. Gardening is a way to the deeper wave. That is part of what Adventures in Terraforming is about. And one of those things that I feel the deeper wave through gardening is when I inherit plants or am given plants or trees that someone else took care of, or better yet, they even, nurtured from birth. And those are special to me, and I keep those close to me, especially after those people have passed. Because all we have in life is the ripples we send out as we pass through. And even though these plants and trees and shrubs that people touched are just tiny ripples, they can really go on for many, many years, and they can bring you some solace. And if all we are is the ripples we send out, then you are increasing the impact of your loved ones many-fold, years and years afterward, as you propagate these plants. So that's kind of interesting, and maybe that's where I get some solace. And so I thought I'd do a quick inventory of some plants that fit this criteria. Friends or relatives that have passed, and the plants that I inherited from them, that they touch, that I care for now, in the name of them, sending out their positive ripples, continuing even now, years later. Compost pile here, and certainly I've talked about how you're really making literally Mother Earth here, and that's special. And there's that dirt right here that's just kind of falling out. Oh my gosh, it's so good, right? Oh my gosh, it's just so good. The dirt is just awesome. And there's also plants kind of remember place. This right here happens to be a rose bush from a house I owned in Rancho Cordova. And this is a fortnight lily from Galt. And this is a cutting from a plant that I just happened to find in Fullerton. But over here, this is special to me. This jasmine right here, my grandfather, he raised for years and years and years, and it was on his deck, on his porch when he died. I planted it in the ground in Rancho Cordova, and then I dug it up. So you can see it's got a pretty good trunk, but it's been a pot most of its life. So that is certainly been stunting it, staying in a pot, but because it's special, I don't want to put it in the ground. I thought I was going to stay in Rancho Cordova forever, but that wasn't true. So if you want some good topsoil, Rancho Cordova is the place to go. You could dig a grave in Rancho Cordova. Yep, 6 feet easy. Special plant to me, this pineapple sage. I bought it with my wife before we were married up in Sacramento. We just moved there, and I bought it at a Payless drugstore. I kept this cutting going for years and years. That's a Dracaena from my mother-in-law's backyard, and I'll probably keep that going as well, that dragon tree. Right here, this cactus right here blooms reliably. Blooms reliably from my sister-in-law's birthday to my other sister-in-law's birthday, and Mother's Day in between. Marge Regan inherited it from her, and it is a reliable bloomer and a real special time of the year, her daughter's birthdays. Got from my mother-in-law's neighbor, growing in her backyard, Margaret. And I've had this for over 20 years as well. This mother fern right here belonged to my grandfather. This mother fern right here belonged to my grandfather. Yeah. Here, with the yellow leaves on it. I'll have to do something about that. But that is a Chinese hibiscus that I got from John Roberts when I worked at Trend Sierra in Sacramento. He gave that to me 25 years ago, probably. I've kept it alive. Though it looks like it's got a problem there with all those yellow leaves. Probably not getting enough water. But it could be that spider plant there, you see. Incredibly vigorous. You seen on Adventures in Terraforming, where some plants can really kill other plants just through their vigor. In any case, to John Roberts, Chinese hibiscus, I'm going to have to take care of that because it's a special plant to me. Pretty sure John Roberts is long gone. He was in his 60s 25 years ago. John Roberts, I miss you. Here's some Arundo donata, Chinese false bamboo. Well, look, it's getting tall over there on the other side of the fence. This is from Steve Daniels' mom's backyard in Concord or Walnut Creek. Can't remember which. Sorry, Steve. And I don't remember your mom's name either, but I remember I got this from her backyard. Look at how nice it's doing down here behind the orange curtain. It's doing okay. It was just one little root that I brought back from Northern California. There it is, growing down there. You can see. And I think of that trip we took out there, Steve, and of your mom. How she planted it because she didn't really like the neighbors, and it grew fast. It was a nice screen. All that kind of stuff is, you know, it's amusing. It's a little anecdote, but it's also sending out just a little tiny ripple. There's plants are giving off oxygen, and they are habitat, and you know, they are going to flower probably and feed animals. Chinese false bamboo. Giant grass. These elephant ears. Taro, actually. My grandfather bragged about how I dig these up and eat them. That's from my grandfather. Just like that mother fern, too, right there. From my grandfather. This California sword fern, also from my grandfather. You can see he dominates my landscape. Everything I groom and keep alive, well, I guess I feel like I'm keeping my grandfather alive. So here are some Canna Lilies. These are Mimi's Canna Lilies right here. And I have to say that they are looking real good right now. Mimi's Canna Lilies looking real good. Mimi was my dad's second wife after my mom. And I remember there in Lincoln, California, she was growing these. They weren't this big there in Lincoln, but they had some pretty flowers on them. Forgot the color now. I want to say yellow. Anyway, I said I kind of liked them and they were pretty, and she immediately walked over and dug them up and handed them to me. 4 or 5 of those rhizomes. She just pulled them out of the ground. And I remembered it, and I've kept them. I have so many of them. I always think of Mimi. I miss her. Cosmos that you see up there, that was like the first flower I ever really grew. So all these things have a special meaning to me, but these ones that my family members or loved ones cared for, they really are special to me. Really special. Canna Lily actually blooming now that I'm back from South Carolina. I shipped a few back. Canna Lilies are as big as I've ever seen them, honestly. Maybe even bigger than they were in Lincoln, but I don't think so, because somehow I was struck by them in Lincoln. Mimi pulled them up. I've had them ever since. And this is the best they've ever done. Somehow it seems like the whole idea of sending out the ripples of one's life, and then the ripples of your loved ones through the things that they touched, like these plants. Somehow it seems reinforced with me for the first to see this bloom here. It's yellow in a Canna Lily that I haven't seen too often, actually. Yellow is pretty common, I guess, in plants, but it doesn't seem that common in Canna Lilies. So there's Mimi's flower. Here's her answer. She approves of me planting them there in Fountain Inn, South Carolina. That's what I feel when I come home and see that. The first bloom of these Canna Lilies, and I cannot remember when. Jade plant. Something my grandma took care of in front of her house on T Street. And I've taken those cuttings over here These hens and chicks I got from my grandfather, and they have been in this pot for a time that you cannot even imagine how long they have been in here. They have been in here for a long, long time. And I just keep on digging them out and planting them, and they just keep on coming out more and more. And I decided, what the heck, gonna break off a piece of that jade plant that my grandma took care of and mix it in here with this thing that these pot that I'd gotten from my grandfather 30 years ago. Now I've gotten this jade plant from my grandma 20 years ago. 21, I guess, now. I put it together. And here they are, and they're going to flower. You can see the hens and chicks are flowering. Look at that. And that's it. My inventory of plants that are ripples of my relatives and my friends, sending out those ripples forever and ever and ever. As long as I'm alive, I can keep these alive. Adventures in Terraforming.